do position. Hear me clearly. Oh, Namo Manju Shri Nama Su Shri Nama O Dama Shri Soha. Oh, Namo Manju Shri Nama Su Shri Nama O Dama Shri Soha. Oh, Namo Manju Shri Nama Su Shri Nama O Dama Shri Soha. Janjo Bando Nandi Gyasuji, Dagi Junye Gibe Tonangi, Jola Benjir Sangi, Juba Ju, Jimbe Juji Medora, Rirali Jini de Kembati, Sangi Jindo Mede Uai, Rogananda Shila Juba Ju, Idan Guru Rana Menda Lakandi Adaya Mi. And so we do breathing meditation. So please sit according to 7 meditative posture of Vairocana. Then we visualize Buddha Shakyamuni in the space before us. His nature is no different from one's guru. Buddha Shakyamuni is surrounded by Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. From Buddha Shakyamuni, light rays together, 5 color light rays and nectars flows down and enter our body together with our in-breath. And then we visualize the 5 color nectars and blessings, 5 color nectars and light rays fill up our body. And when we breathe out, we visualize all our negativities, obscurations, etc. in the form of black smoke or liquid come up from our body together with our out-breath and vanish in the space. So first 3 times we breathe in with our right nostril and breathe out with our left nostril. And another 3 times we breathe in with left nostril and breathe out with our right nostril. And another 3 times we breathe in and out with both nostrils. So when we breathe slowly during the visualization as mentioned. All sentient beings have been our mothers, and they have been our mothers for numberless times. Their kindness to us is exactly the same as the mothers of this life. all kind mother sentient beings, though wish for happiness and do not want any sufferings, not knowing the object of abandonment and adoptions properly, they create the karma that bring forth only sufferings. So all kind mother sentient beings, in our heart, to them, generate loving kindness, thinking, how nice if all kind mother sentient beings were free from suffering. May all sentient beings be free from sufferings, and I will cause all sentient beings to be free from suffering. Sorry, it's loving kindness to all sentient beings. So how nice if all sentient beings have happiness. May all sentient beings have happiness, and I will cause all sentient beings have an excellent happiness. Next, we cultivate compassion to all kind mother sentient beings, thinking, how nice if all sentient beings treat those were free from all adverse conditions. May all sentient beings treat those to be free from all adverse conditions. And I will cause all sentient beings treat those to be free from all adverse conditions. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we cultivate bodhicitta, first asking oneself who should take the responsibility to free all sentient beings from sufferings. The answer is I should take the responsibility to free all sentient beings from sufferings, but I do not have the ability to do so. Only those who have achieved the state of enlightenment have the ability to free all sentient beings from sufferings. Therefore, for the sake of all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. By all means, I want to become Buddha. Next, we meditate on emptiness, that I and aggregates are not intrinsically one, nor intrinsically different. Thus, I do not exist intrinsically. Motivation. For all sentient beings, I want to become Buddha. For this purpose, I'm going to receive teachings on Lamrim and practice properly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Yeah, thank you. I think the government would be the institutions that judicial system.
Yeah, so I will give the oral transmissions of white umbrella, deities, and Dara.
That would together to the law, Jitin the Jitin the Sindua. Ying and the Duga so they patients in normal times. The patient on the and the Dimchitu and the Chibarishas. Chibarisha teaching in the government.
So mantra, so there are long versions and short versions. So I have checked many texts already. So they write in this way, which is what I'm going to give the oral transmissions. So they are the same. Yeah, so now I will give the oral transmissions of white umbrella deity.
Yata anale kasame bere some sombida aditana aditide sawata dangata inuka sidata bate pe mama soa yanje chani.
So now we repeat that 2 times.
Yata anale kasame bere some sombida aditana aditide sawata dangata inuka sidata bate pe mama soa.
Again, one more time.
Yata anale kasame bere some sombida aditana aditide sawata dangata inuka sidata bate pe mama soha.
So followed by a shorter version of white umbrella deities mantra.
Sawata dangata inuka pe mama soha. Sawata dangata inuka pe mama soha. Sawata dangata inuka pe mama soha. That dibada mama soha. Mama soha. Mama soha. But that is that's a sort of drama. That drama.
Dara mantra. Repeat.
Dare. Didare. Tere soha. Dare. Didare. Tere soha. Dare. Didare. Tere soha. Yeah. That is not the Northern data. Jada de that Naji as a decade of the Najin Jada Tagamata. Sasiki Ken Shingo Marisi. The Naji done as the Northern data de that bachelors are capable so with the Sanskrit she were a chance of she between the Jujanjo. That was Sanskrit now she data the Leg Marasi with Naji Usachi Roma the source. that the Nenga Kay Maris, not the Uma, one is Sonjiga Chipamnaswa, or the Sanskrit data Nashini also, the Akayomare, that and the Page Loza was so it's Jungi, Brans of the Sanskrit Keba, Peke Keba, a chance at the Keba, that's a Jitan Tejus, Sika to Tej the Treju at the Manda Jitan. Sijo Dada, there's a J at the that the Jikani and Naji on that and Yanda to sing it and to go on to some Douglas. We teach in Dangi Sanskrit Machine, Sanskrit Machine, and Yankees.
So regarding the pronunciations of this mantra, so I only know Tibetan pronunciation of those mantra, and I do not know the Sanskrit pronunciation of this mantra. So and these mantra pronunciations were translated by the past Tibetan translators, those Lotsawa, and then they know Tibetan language and they know Sanskrit languages as well. So then they translate those mantra from Sanskrit and then into Tibetan. So and His Holiness Dalai Lama mentioned in the at Varanasi as well that it is very difficult for us to recite the pronunciations the exact pronunciations as the Sanskrit one, but it is okay. So yeah, because there are many when they translate the mantras pronunciations, and they translate according to the sound. According to the sound, according to the words sound pronunciations.
Oh yeah, that is
So yeah,
this is
so that is the oral transmissions of these two mantras. So please accumulate as many numbers of mantras as possible.
That's like me but don't that never the Nian teaches that is never so fun you to other Zali de la Panasa the Panudo. Never child some of those Salatanshi,
so when you recite this mantra, then it's good to think about the purpose of reciting this mantra is to quickly free the purpose of reciting this mantra, then we dedicate it for the world to be free from all this, to be free from this pandemic, and may those patients, especially those who are infected by this virus, may they quickly regain health. So while having this thought, then accumulate the mantra.
Sheila, there are some new people texting about Tara mantra as well. If Sheila can give oral transmission of short Tara mantra.
We have just given.
Oh, okay. That sounds okay. Thanks.
Also the Lamrim Mangol doing lending on their work. Also lending Katuma and doing it work.
So back to Lamrim. So today we are going to talk about karma and its effect.
But daily tangies or each depa jebas nimba the daily tangies or each depa said that they lended just some cheddar, some sun video chat the soon charter. That lended just somebody like just something associated with me. That just sounds that laying a bit of name page or name major nation chimas was it. That's a Chile with what. That she knows Tampon as a laying a bit so as a dimmer is what. Laying a bit to the dimmer is.
So topic, karma and its effect, then generating the faith of conviction in actions and their effects. So regarding this outline, then it has 3 points. So contemplating karma and its effect in general, contemplating karma and its effect in particular, and having contemplated karma and its effect, how to engage in virtue and desist from non-virtue.
That laying a bit is the end of the day, Sanji can do. The world to Sonja was a gender relation and Jupiter Jungre so the laying a bit says or the Sanji to Sonja. So Roa Ju Kandiji Sana, then Jib didn't Timbaji Chibures, Jibutachi, Roa, or Jibutachi Chibures, then nearby is or neighbor. That Pena, Ju Gewaji Sayana, 단 제부 대한 중앙에 내차리에서 제부 동아 자원이는 중앙에 요 말했어. 주 개와지 레사바이나 제부 대wan 중앙에 내려서 다 주먹이 레지 사바이나 전 제부 동인 중앙에 내차리 주먹이 레스난 제부 대wan 중앙에 요 말했어. 요 말했어. 내바세 된다들다. 레 내바스나 주 간디스나 주틀라티는 제부데 대단 팀바치 내바래 마도 주완도와 요 말했어. 주완도와 요 말에 대화는 주 개와스난 제부 대화 대화로 주와마도 들은 주와 자원이네 요 말에서 내차리 해서 왔다가 한다들와.
So, and then under the contemplating karma and its effect, then this has another 2 points: the actual way to contemplate karma and its effect in general, and contemplating the specific categories. And then the actual way to contemplate karma and its effect in general, then again, this has 4 points. Karma is certain, karma greatly increases, you do not meet with karma you have not created, and karma you have created doesn't dissipate. So now we are going to talk about the first one: karma is certain. So karma is certain means that so you whatever karma you created, then its result will come. So whatever karma you create, then its corresponding result will come. So it is certain this way. So for example, the cause, if you create a virtuous cause, and its result definitely is happiness. Its result definitely is happiness. It is certain in this way. And if you create a non-virtuous cause, then its result is suffering. So it is certain in this way. So if you create a non-virtuous cause, its result will not be happiness. So it is certain in this way.
그때 샤바이나 가서데 사베 카차고 수빈다고지 사베 수빈다고지 떠바이나 내가 제부터 다 카차고지 제부터 대가지 찍으려 마도 제부 나무나보다 주부서다나보다 차구서다나고 와 다든지 개요 말했어요 와 근데 요 말했어 가서 사베데 간지 떠바이나 제부터 대단 팀바 사베 카차보란 제부 차와 사베 주부지 떠바이나 다들은 제부터 주부지와 사베 나무지 리지 떠바이나 들은 제부 나무지 리요하지 오다 든지 마도 다 디상게 치리게 나무다 설전한테 손내지 놓가로와 순주도 내지 놓가를 마도 소소기 쭉 간디서는 제부 때가 땡땡이 그래 해서 왔다.
And so if we were to plant a seed of chili, then the fruit that we will get, it will be a spicy ones, because as chili is spicy, so we will experience the result. If we eat it, then it is spicy. So, and we will not experience, we will not taste sweetness out of it, and then we will not taste sour, and then we will not taste salty out of chili. So basically, whatever type of seed that you plant, then you will get that kind of result. So if you plant a seed, for example, a sour fruit, a seed of a sour fruit. So if you plant that seed, then you will get a sour fruit. If you plant a seed of sweet fruit, then the fruit that you will get will be a sweet one. So other than then we may say that that through technologies and science, then you can create alter the genetic of it or something. Then that is a different thing.
다들이 간다 링이 미치 되는다 도도라고 들으시려서 다들 나리를 같은 마치 지하사도 소소 지워다 바바서 들리샤노와 와 가서 소소 지워다 바바서라 다 간다 소와 심바 대와 대와 타나 신지 나와 지워라 루스와 나와라 마치 가서 루스고 집에 소소배 사바치가 루스고 집에 소소배 릴라파 대와 팅게 들리 주마이나 소소 능이들 내지 주기와 사바 되게 레벨이 했어요. 와, 소소, 야, 소소 랑사 디지 수고라 마디와 배 나와 사와서 들리지 레벨이 소소 능이 레지 주기 디스 사와 했어요. 오, 들리 소소다 간다. 된다 도도 다기 쉬사와. 와.
And so on text, then it says karma is certain, and then all happiness, that is a type of pleasant feeling, whether in ordinary beings or Aryas, come from virtuous karma accumulated previously. And this includes even pleasures as small as the pleasure in a sentient being born in hell. When a cool breeze springs up, there is no Yeah, so there's no way for happiness to arise from a non-virtuous karma. And so basically, what I mentioned just now is a summary of these explanations, that basically you plant whatever kinds of seed, then you will get whatever kind of fruit. So when we are very hot, and then we feel a cool breeze springs up, then we feel a cool breeze. That experience of it is the result of previously accumulated virtuous karma.
당아서 넘버 순자 나서 주 제부 컨디션에 주 스스로 디두 컨디션 바이나 주티나 때문에 제부를 해서 거와 주대 찌나 때문에 제부를 해서 주티나 마티바 주 매바다 tenile zawani je yo mare da nga so ye wang shu shi ro ba de so bi da shi ye zuo se de wang shu xie ba bo de li xin la wa yi de ge ba bo de li la be de ne je rang je ma ge ba wa de li be da ku ju ge je ba ne sen de je de ge je shi ro ji de ba wa da nga so nam ba ge be da su su ge be je sang bo ji che na sin je be de wa de su su ge ju ngen ba ji ne je be de wa de ngen ju wa je me ba ji la je be zawani ne je yo mare se da and then because chips was so the mother shiro pagin de tang chi go wa shiro pagin de tang jume chime de le pe chi yoris wa that the yo mare se ma so
So as a Buddhist, then we assert that the experience of happiness and sufferings arise independent on cause and conditions. So we do not, as a Buddhist, then we do not assert the experience or the result of it arise from a causeless. So we do not say a result could arise from a causeless, which is asserted by non-Buddhists, or the assertions of a world creator. So this is also not accepted by a Buddhist as well. Like for example, the experience of the experience of happiness and sufferings is created by, for example, Ishvara or other world creators. So this is not asserted by a Buddhist. So basically, we ourselves create whatever kind of karma, be it a virtuous or non-virtuous, then we experience its corresponding result, be it suffering or happiness.
da nga so ling bi su shu cha yi wa da ling bi su kan sa do do de da nga so ju ge wa sa nan je bu de wa nge ba da ju ma ge le sa nan je bu du nge ba da de nge ba sa de da de go si ba chi ro da da ga re nga so do wa de rin chen ju wa ge ling de sang ji ge do do wa de ma su ju zi ma de ji ba re ro.
So the meaning mentioned in the Precious Garland and in the Sutra, then they all mean the same. Basically, karma is certain. It means that the meaning of this is if you create a virtuous cause, then you experience the result of happiness. And if you create a non-virtuous cause, then you experience the result of suffering. So karma is certain. So this is what it means by karma is certain. So this is the summary of karma is certain.
da nga so ni ba de ro da ni ba de 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 le pe chi wa se de le pe chi wa de ma yin.
So the second point is karma greatly increases.
da le pe chi wa se wa de da de song dang nga so ye zhe chung chung ji sa ba ina je bu top chen bo je bu ga zhe lu je na pe zo ya men jo de ge pe ni ba chen bo yin shi wa ye zhe chung chung ji sa ba ina je bu de ji ye se wa nga so pe nang gi jin ji pe dang da shi jin ji pe dang ni pe chi ba chi chu pe shi bu nang sa na na shi nga so to me ma so da nang sa na shi chi ba ju sa de wa to me chi chu shi bu ju sa de nang sa是南京是用这背小的，那个呀，同步啥是也是地方的话，那等于他们被切把去注册的话，我等于南京你的配给了，我说都是背小的是吧？可能切把被南沙注册的是呢，他但是可能配切把注册是个话。
So regarding this outline, karma greatly increases. So basically, what you have to know is, so from a small roots of virtue, then it can bring forth a great result. So from a small root of virtue, it can bring forth a great result. So I say the result as if it is immeasurable. So when we talk about karma greatly increases, so there are two types. One is the internal karma greatly increases and external karma greatly increases as well. So if you were to compare these two, the external causes, the external cause and effect do not increase as great as the internal cause. So there are difference between the internal causes, internal cause and effect increases, and the external cause and effect increases. The difference is like sky and ground. So you can understand from from our ordinary our saying that if you say the difference is like sky and ground, then you know that there is a huge difference between the two compared.
다 샤바이는 가서 제가 시로게 사빈 중주지라 ben 제부 전부 찍으러 왔는지 그와 전주 제신적으로 제부 충주지마다 여마를 용감을 쓰시마 다 디지 사빈 디지 따오든 신동 제부도 배 전부 배 쇼 찍은도 신동 제부 예 가서 전부로 왔다 그와 다디 전부에 다 시로게 가서 요배다 신동 전부도 속에 사빈이 충주지마다 여마를 전부 디지 찍으러 있어와 이 찍으러 다들 시기 진짜 배당으로 시기 진짜 배당. 당가서 남기 진짜 배당다 딜 싸웠는 세지야 버려. 세지야 말이서 그와. 예자 충주지 산업에 까바 mam보라 놓치야 인도. 소소페 제라 까바 mam보지라마 놓치야고. 이제 부서 마트에 되게 놓치야 이래서. 다 디파 먹이와 차 충주지 싸바이나. 그 샤도 제마도 바이나 빼 까바 mam보 등에 놓고야게. 되게 이거를 해서 저. 다 남기 진짜로 와. 가서 게디 가르지 사바이나 디긴 제브 랍치무야 나기 준비 패치야 그러와 시로 준비 배워야 무슨 나기 준비 때는 그 충주식으로 했습니다.
So external cause and result, for example, external cause. So if we talk about body seed, so if we plant this body seed, then the result of this seed is a sprout. So a tree, a body tree. So then from a very small seed, then it can grow into a very big body tree. So this is an example of how external cause and result, external cause it greatly increases. External cause and result greatly increases. However, if we were to compare these to internal cause and effect, then for example, if we were to plant if we were to plant a seed of virtuous karma, then the result of it, the happiness, then is inexhaustible, that we can experience eons after eons. So, and similarly, if we were to plant a seed of non-virtuous karma, then its result, sufferings, then one has to endure it eons and eons as well. So this is how internal cause and effect greatly increases. So if we were to compare the external cause and effect and the internal cause and effect, though both increases, but the external one do not increase as much as the internal cause and effect.
这个我们上级中的年度的中国级来看到中国级来讲就是说上级中的中国级来批评了都没这个这para com pior isso para cá这是我的是就这有就了不起这个我第para com pior isso上级了这比的他虽然老全部上来看到是吧上级联名计划你们弄点把这是上级忙把那 proprio 计划是吧상지 레미 히바 드리지 지와라 문데 그래서 상지 레미 서 뭐발 차 상지 레미 드리지 그래서 예스 지와라 땡땡데 상지 이게 상지가 드리지 문데 말이에서 어떻게 소소 때 상호다 피야 누구보다 라래 말에 가서 피야게 이게 상호들라 셈바들라 라래 그래서 그래서 뭐 시사인 봐 이야 저거 피야게 누구보다 앞에 대라 나시 수수기 세번을 간다 당화다 대바다 이치 이 장마 여바이나 대배 생각 주무산 해줘 좋아
So there is a story about a Buddha went to a village, and then a woman then offer a handful of sesame seed to Buddha. And then Buddha at the time gave the prophecy that this woman is going to gain enlightenment. So at the time, then Buddha gave the prophecy to the woman, to the lady, that she will attain enlightenment in the future. So even just a handful of sesame seeds then can get such a great result of enlightenment. So when we make offerings, it doesn't rely on the things that we offer. It doesn't rely on the object of offerings. It depends on the thought when you make offerings, your mind when you make offerings. So if your mind is pure, if your mind is full of convictions and belief, then though your object of offerings is little or small, but you accumulate great merits.
다 숨바들인가서 숨바들다 레 마시보다 못해봐서 뒤지와 레 마시보다 못해봐서 다등가서 왜내 순간서 주축이 소이노 따따리고라 가서 디자인에 가서 내가 마지나 라샤 요 말아 내가 마지나 라샤 이고요 말이 스스로와 디 깔레 마지나 제비 이고요 말에서 간다 와 딜라 자는 지고 지장 좋아 스스로께 간다 주치 마사나 팀 제비 자원이 이거요 말아 제비 이거야 말 답에 지고 대고 소소 지고 대하게 저 다시 각게 매주나 지고 요구상 된듯이 대와이나 지고 용한 갈래 가보러 갈래 가보래 어다 딜라 안다들 레 마지 받아 못해 봐서 소소기 주대 지고 용하게 주대 마사바이나 딱 자원이네 제 요마 레스 인다 들어와.
So the third point is you do not meet with karma you have not created. So is very easy to understand. So it basically, like especially in nowadays. So if we do not work, then we do not have salary. So it's just as simple as this. You do not meet with karma you have not created. So if you do not work, then you have no salary. And if you do not put effort in, then you will have no you will not have the result to experience. You will not have the result to enjoy. So so in other words, is if you do not create the cause, you will not experience the result. So and even if we think that I want to stay happy, I want to stay happy, but if you do not put effort in creating the cause or the method that will bring forth the experience of staying happily, then you will not experience the result of it.
Did no le masan jebi chig mares to that tembi peshaunda tembi so down the basa jebel no jebala di ju tanchi sam ku chachi sam yes wa dan so kanda temba pe kachi jame su so san sanji ba kachi jame su so san sanji ba ni kachi jame su so san ni sanji da londo ge inde chi na so dijala ma anda 최소는 좀 năng lượng của
농도 기인데
농도 기인데 다 농도 기인데 그래서 상지기 방도 기인데 참아 다 맞아 두제 신지를 막 무슨 나야라 신지기 때 방도 기인데들라 소소로 대상 우도 지야라 내가 초 첨비지 싸고 해서 예 소소로 때 대상론이 지야게 상지다 양대와 이 대화 시작에 초 참아 같이 점에 손가기 연반 나시 싸마도 바나 반다 주차지 소지 마사바 소소로 대상 모두가 날리지야 뭐가 이거 말와서 뭐가 이거 말이와
예 그래서 술라니 지와차고
이 상지기 간다 농도가 많이 수행을 취해서라 취해서 대상 모두가 날리지야 이제와 대상 모두 지야라 그래서 대상 모두지 상지지 수행하고 취해서라 소소로 대상 모두가 날리지야라 뭐가라 이 선을 전부지 마사바이나 이거 말와서 와 그러나 자와 예밤에지때 대화지 신도 소리야 제와라 소소그 멜람 제와라 자와 예밤멜라 소소그 소왔다네 초 쳔비지 마사나 예 대화지네 지두고 말와스 대화 나시 제에서 그러와 자와 예밤에 대화지 신래야 소소그 대지 제와라 소소그 대단 팀이 멜람 지네 소소그 초 쳔비 사고 해서 다 자와 예밤에 나시 사마트바나 간다 자와 예밤에 란제와 차다 자와 예밤에 신뢰주야 신뢰주야 되게 체도 소소게 소선한지 사고에 차치 사고에 니찌에 마서나 자와 예밤에야 신뢰주야단 저와 토야다 이빨에 가고 해서 그 상지라 대가리 뭐지 상지기 노동 취리절 소속이 대상 보는 안에 제와라 소속이 쇠넘지 마사바이나 이 고가 이거 말하고 이거 말와 뭐 들리지 구글에 해서 단단들이 와 레마지보다 못 제봐서 된다.
So if you have not accumulated karma that will become the cause for experiencing happiness or suffering, you will never experience the happiness or suffering that is its effect. Also, those who enjoy the effects of the teacher's accumulations of an incalculable accumulations of merit do not need to accumulate all its causes. However, they need to accumulate one part of them. So what does it mean by this sentence, those who enjoy the effects of the teacher's accumulation? So Buddha gained enlightenment after accumulated the karma, after accumulated the merits of three countless eons. After accumulated three countless eons merit, then Buddha Siddhartha Gautama gained the state of enlightenment. Then he became Buddha. So then he gave the teaching. Then he taught the qualities of abandonment and the qualities of realizations and the qualities of scriptural realizations and scriptural and realizational qualities to the sentient beings. So, and for a disciple of a Buddha, in order to meet with those teachings, to study those teachings, to listen to those teachings, to contemplate on those teachings, then though we do not have to accumulate the accumulations of merit accumulated by Buddha Shakyamuni, but we do need to accumulate a certain amount of merit, a small amount of merit, in order to meet with Buddha's teachings, to study Buddha's teachings and to practice Buddha's teachings. So another example is like this. We talk about Amitabha Pure Land, right? Sukhavati. So, and in order to be born in Sukhavati, then you don't have to accumulate the amount of merit accumulated by Amitabha, but you still have to accumulate a certain amount of merit in order to be born in Sukhavati, the Pure Land of Amitabha. Like for example, you have to make prayer, then you have to make prayer to Amitabha, and then you accumulate a certain amount of merit. Then in order to be born in the Buddha Amitabha, if you do not do anything, if you do not make any supplication prayers to Amitabha, and if you yourself also do not create any merit or cause to born in Sukhavati, the Pure Land of Amitabha, then there is no way that one can born in Sukhavati, right? So the fourth point, karma you have created doesn't dissipate. Karma you have created doesn't dissipate or doesn't disappear. So in King of Concentration Sutra also says what is done will never not be met. So in other words, is what is done will be met, and what others did you will not experience. So what it means is if you create a virtuous karma, then that virtuous karma will not disappear. Even after 100 eons, even after 1,000 eons. So once karma meet with its conditions, then it will definitely ripen into a result. So similar to negativities. So if one create a non-virtuous karma, then that karma will not disappear even after 100 eons, even 1,000 eons. So sometimes we might think that, oh, I created a negative karma, then it seems like the result do not come. So it seems like the result is not coming. So then we think that probably the non-virtuous karma that I created disappeared already. So but that is not the case, because even the non-virtuous karma, even after 100 eons, 1,000 eons, it will not disappear. Once it meets with its conditions, then it will definitely ripen into its result. So if we do not confess the negativities that we have done, so when it meets with the karma, when it meets with its conditions, definitely it will ripen into its result.
다간다 맞아 레치 무서워대로 디 제법 파티레 간다 디지스도와 자하지 리지 가시기 백 게와다 디버스도 찌기 현다기 찌기 제나 현대 찔러 파포로야 포로야 이제부터 등에 이나로와 디지 요리스 그래서와 다 상지 쫀딘데 저랑게 배 소소리 게와 레지 사바이나 이제부 이동와 대화다 무기 레지 사바이나 이제부 등에 스스로 하나마도 신달라 파즈 섭신의 등에 용구하다 신다기 대화의 스스로 틀려야하는 보다 된진 제불해야하는 거 리서원이네 요 말에서 순서에서 상지존들이 필요와 상지
신이 중요해야
신집에 간다 대화 지고 연결 서사마 스스로 깔리지 먹고 스스로서 레야들이 요 말에서 그 스스로 등에 차침버서 디바 차침버서 제부 등하대 신라파 꼴려야 신라 파트리아는 어떻게 요 말에서 그와 요 말에 그 수술 하나 간다 미브레에서 그와 그 레까지 까바잖아 그 수술 하나 제보해야 되다 상지기 됐어요 그와.
So in praise of the exalted one says, Brahmins claim that good and bad deeds are transferable like gifts one receives. You teach that deeds done are never lost, and what is not done will not be met. So Brahmins say that we can transfer, like for example, I do something, then I can transfer it to others, then others did something, then I can take it away from him. So this is what asserted by Brahmins, but Buddha do not say that. Buddha say that deeds done are never lost, and what is not done will not be met. So in other words, is you yourself create a virtuous cause, then you will experience its happy result, and oneself created a non-virtuous cause, then oneself will experience its suffering result. So it is impossible to happen in this way that someone created a cause of happiness, and then you take the happiness, take the happiness away from the persons, the result of it, or take it away from others. There's no way. And if we ourselves create a cause of sufferings, then there is no way that we can transfer suffering result to others, and then let others to experience the suffering result, which is done by oneself. It is impossible to happen in this way.
당연히 사진 니바는 인데다 렌리치 선바다 수수시의 선바니는 니바 수수시의 선바데 마시로 니바 수수시의 선바데 예랑 쪽쪽도 레단 제부때는 아니 다 예랑 쪽쪽이야 되리서 그러와.
The next outline is contemplating the specific categories.
다 간다 예랑 쪽쪽도
This has 2 points. The principal teaching of the 10 paths of actions and establishing actions and their effects.
당연히 수수시의 마 레랑 아르와 수수시의 선바들라 간다 다 예랑 쪽쪽도 레단 제부때는 미시로와 미시로 당연히 레랑 쪽쪽도 된다들 마 쉬어로와 아데 간다 대화다 동화다 진지 소소 예바 다 레페치와 레 마지바다 마지바 레시바 치마자 이래 간다 레단 제부터 간다 용다 소소 시료로와 디치네 왜 간다로와 레 진다기 레단 제비기 진다기 실라도 도망이 받지는 랑도 샤브레세 다 가서 람도 차브리에서 된다리 되리 소소게 죽기 이제 대원 좋아라 소소게 주산이 나서 나야다 이제 등에 좋아 소도 파 돈이 소파 까 파파니 소소게 란도기 제바디 힘이 돈이 소소게 두바냐니 가디 제바나 등에바디 힘이 해서 대신에 위지 두바이나 소소라 디파타 요르 소나 사야 요르 와 게살라 쳔바 사야 요르 어디 대지 요에 요르 어디 힘이 돈이 제거를 해서 와
So the principal teachings of the 10 paths of action. So you have first generated certainty concerning the ways of actions and their effects through this understanding that happiness and suffering are certain to occur as effects of their specific causes, that karma greatly increases, that you do not meet with anything you have not created, and that karma does not dissipate. So, which is what we have just discussed. So you already know about it. Then now, which actions should be adopted and which rejected? So basically, what to abandon and what to adopt. So what to abandon is those the cause that will bring forth the result of suffering, and what to adopt is those cause that will bring forth the result of happiness. So by knowing what to adopt and what to abandon, then we will be able to purify our negative karma. Then we will be able to accumulate merits.
당아서 란도기 쳇번 지발라 레제데 니지도 쳇바 로아 레제데 니지도 파소소게 뇌소야 슬레고야 파팡고야 디소데 용다의 컨디션을 레바의 컨디션을 요구를 네바의 컨디션을 요구를 해서 소소소 쳇바 쉐오디 아데 뉴사데 뭐 수마디 가마 와 리지고네 레바 쳇바나 리지 레바 쳇바다 리지 몰레바 니지 쳇바지 나기 내지 제거다 내지 제거지 다 일을 대가래 와 다 내지 손도 고수나 리고래 레기 차데 고수나 리고야 와 고수나 리고야 다 대소 손 레오자 손을 레와 손자 그 상지 존대되게 맞어 내랑 주 서데 또 고수지 내랑 주 딜레샤 고수지 와 고수지 내랑 주 간다 나기 싫어와 나기 싫리지소 다 이지 손과 진 참마 지중하자 다 이지 간다 리지베 뭐 리지로 뭐에 잡아지고 들어와 마지막에 소로와 다 이지 나신이서 다 소로와 다 레랑죠 또 나비 레랑죠 까비 레랑죠 데 드리시고다
So in general, the doorways for engaging in good conduct and faulty conduct are determined as 3. So, so how karma, how to do, there are 3 doors to do good actions and there are 3 doors to do bad actions. So the 3 doors refer to our body, speech, and mind. So, through the body, then we can do good actions. We can do bad actions as well. Verbal, then our speech, then we can engage in good actions and bad actions as well, similar to mental mind. Then we can do good actions and bad actions as well. So the good conduct, the door of doing good conduct, there are 3, and the door of doing bad conduct, then there are 3 as well. Then Buddha talked about the 10 paths of actions of our 3 doors. So 10 paths of actions of 3 doors. So these 10 paths of actions again can be divided into 2. One is 10 paths of white actions and 10 paths of black actions. So what are these 10 paths of actions? So the body, there are 3. Speech, there are 4. And mind, there are 3. So body, speech, and mind, 3, 4, 3. So what are the 3 body actions? 3 body actions. One is killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. And speech, then there are 4. So what are these 4? Telling lies, telling divisive speech, idle talk, and kasati ngagi leshi de kare de chitama and harsh speech. Yeah, so for verbal actions, one is telling lies, then telling divisive speech, harsh speech, and idle talk. And mental actions, then there are three. So what are these three? Covetousness, harmful intentions, and wrong view. So these are the 10 paths of actions of body, speech, and mind.
那讲的隔壁里呢，觉得我是哪壁里呢就报名对多数的讲是吧？隔壁里呢就是那个多啊，他我是看那个人习惯的，人帮我的，在哪个我的人帮我什么帮我，这种妻子帮我，俺家帮我习惯的，在哪个隔壁里习的，但人的嘛都是相当基本是吧？我是隔壁里说的，人的嘛。 说是几个名字办的，对吧？当你只几个名字呢，这了的，但哪边来的多了不大，哪边来的干了不？说是这些个名字，说是人们说这办这个哪边来，这的办的不的，这起码这个几百，那么另外不，另外这个厂商的嘛都是这样是吧？隔壁来说，这人的办的多少，但年不的话，隔壁来的年不，是吧？哪边来的？
So we talk about 10 paths of white actions and 10 paths of black actions. So 10 paths of white actions are the antidotes to the 10 paths of black actions. So the white one is the antidote to the black one. So black one is the negativities, then the white one is antidote to remedy the black one. So for example, speech. So speech, there are 4 actions. Like for example, the black one is telling lies. Then the white one also have the same one, which is not telling, abandoning telling lies. Abandoning telling lies is one of the paths of white actions, similar to abandoning telling divisive speech, abandoning telling harsh speech, for example. So what does it mean by abandoning telling lies? So very easy to understand is I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Is what it means by abandoning. So I'm not going to tell lies. Then these parts of white actions is the antidote to remedy the telling lies. The one of the path of action. Half of black actions.
当然说，看到源头能把头发去头发那俺就出去，那就算了。当俺就偷嘛的时候了，源头时候是吧？源头时候的俺就出去了，哪里的？但我们就把自己点的送是吧？但是说叫我他妈把他民间的、人家的全部申报的时候，我们去送的话，是吧？我看到虽然呢，看到源头电商部的头发了。 出去比大部送给他的，看到他呀嘛都，但问题就出去送啊，当俺说没给结果，那个他接的是吧？没给结果的，随便都要不就送吧一单，但源头就了，但是说某个是呢，俺看到源头电商部的接头来是吧？是吧？上去就被接入来是吧？我等于说上，当俺就出去就被全部是吧？来是吧？
So it says in the 10 grounds of sutra is the ethical disciplines of abandoning the 10 non-virtues, and this is summarized in entering the middle way. Then he says that for the definite goodness and higher states of ordinary beings, so born from his speech, those established for self-enlightenment and the victor's children, the cause is none other than ethical conduct. So what it means is, if we want to achieve a higher states, then it depends on guarding the morality. So if we do not guard our morality, there is no way for one to achieve a higher rebirth. So, and in this context, morality refers to morality of abandoning 10 non-virtues. So by guarding well the morality of abandoning 10 non-virtues, even though you might say that, oh, I don't want to achieve a higher states, but since the cost to achieve a higher state is accomplished, therefore one will definitely achieve a higher state. Even though if you say that you don't want, but since the cause is accomplished, then you will achieve a higher state. Then it says in the Siddhikapa Sutra, it says, by way of these 10 virtuous paths of action, you will become a Buddha. On the other hand, if one doesn't guard even a single virtuous path of action throughout his life, nevertheless says, I am a Mahayanist, I seek unsurpassed perfect complete enlightenment, that person is an utter hypocrite and great liar. He is deceiving the world before the eyes of all the blessed ones and propounding nihilism. At the time of death, he will be very confused and fall in the wrong directions. So if a person says that, oh, I am a Mahayanist, but the person who say this do not guard even a single virtuous path of actions throughout his lives, then he committed the lines the lines about his own realizations, and that is one of the 4 root downfalls. So if one lies about one's realization, for example, I'm not an arhat, but I claim that I am an arhat, then this becomes the lies. This becomes the lying about one's own realization, similar to realizations. Even if I do not develop any realizations of the path, then if I were to claim that I am, I already realized the path, then I also committed such a lie, which is one of the 4 root downfalls. So, because if you say that I am a Mahayanist or I'm seeking enlightenment, etc., then you have to create such causes, right? You have to create a cause, then you have to accumulate those causes. So if you say that I seek enlightenment, but you do not create such cause, then it becomes a lie. And definitely you will not experience its result, though you're claiming so. So then you lie about the cause and effect. So, and if one telling such lies about one's own realizations or spiritual realizations, then because of these actions, one will fall wrongly. So what does it mean by fall wrongly or in the wrong directions? Then it should be understood. On the text it says, then fall in the wrong directions should be understood as a synonym for the miserable lower reverse. So because of telling such lies, then one will fall into lower reverse. So this is the brief explanations about this.
니바 레던 집电话다送的了那必人的隔壁人的连着那现在把送的吧那送了他看到那必人的了是吧但那必人让你这样的吃吧得到这个电话送的是吧但那必人让你的嘛咱们我的嘛就需要那必人让你是怎么选择那必人的
So then we continue. The next outline is establishing actions and their effects. So this again has 3 points: non-virtuous actions and their effects, virtuous actions and their effects, and other categories of actions. And non-virtuous actions and their effects again has 3 points: the actual non-virtuous paths of action, differentiating heavy and light karma, and presentations of their effects. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is the actual non-virtuous paths of action.
当我是拿必人让知了是说的他看到说起这把人呢看到被说起人让强上去啊你不强上去参下去的你不强上马上去说你是满月的你是为了吧你是为了当我看到拿必人就稍微的说起就来到不起了当我说拿必人现在老马了呢就没给直播的嘛人家就这样的没给直播拿必人让没给直播的嘛人家就嘛这些也是看到
So the actual non-virtuous paths of actions. So basically, it talks about the 10 non-virtues. So we basically talk about this 10 non-virtues. So and then indeed it talks about what factors will make negativities. For example, paths of actions of killing a complete karma.
当我说早啊 当部的我是早一些所结果的马进来些但农业的旅游啊农业的这个没去了没知道吧我在地区呢在当部我做早一些了所结果呢当我说连浪有些强上感觉做的是吧在地嘛需要的但所结的呢我说当部搞得好不是呢所结设的西三八九啊 他都得西的，俺们得西的要帮你说的，说这个西，说这是个西，这三把就啊，他都俺们得西的嘛名字去了。
So what are these 4 root downfalls that I've just mentioned? So the first one is killing, and the second one is stealing, third one sexual misconduct, and fourth telling lies. So telling lies of about one's realization. So when we talk about how to make a complete path of actions, then we talk about 4 factors. So there are 4 factors that will make a complete path of actions. So the 4 factors are the first one, the basis. So the first one is basis. Second one is attitude. The third one is performance. And the last one, completion. So these are the 4 factors will make a complete path of actions.
但西的我说，你知道，西的星期跑路波是在地么地方嘛？我说哪里就没得自己的地方嘛？星期跑路波，当我说说几几辈，地方人些重要了是吧？说几地方人些重要了，说几是西的，他讲的星期说到点吧就不够了是吧？星期说到点吧去是吧？星期说到点吧去嘛去。 让你把具体的申请就不让满意不去，是吧？让你具体的吧，让谁吧？呢？看到说起东方人些的结果嘛，东方人些结果，地方的产业是吧？东方人些的结果嘛，他看到跑路部是的了，说起现在申请跑路部是跑路部那边用钱的搞的是呢，他看到让你是呢。 地方有点搞，他都
让西结果呢，就是让西结果。
我当然西结果的让你写完了吧？我你来看到说起就，东方人些的结果嘛，也是，地方的差钱不有了吧？地方的差钱不有的，对你说上，他看到说解释的西点呗，但甚至说到点吧去，看到没吃饱看的钱了是吧？ 甚至说的点吧就不会也是，说到点吧嘛是让你具体的吧，看在现在跑路不现在不也是，是吧？跑路不就不也是我，对，看到跑路不老板就这的，叔叔吧呢，说起是东方那些的结果嘛，是吧？东方那些在地方的事情不结果了吧？
So the basis is the first factor. Basis is the basis of killing is another sentient beings. So it's very short explanations about basis. So the basis of killing is another sentient beings. So yeah. So in order for a complete, in order for a negativities of killing with the actual basis to happen, then not only that other sentient beings is having is alive. Not only that, there's other sentient beings is alive, and it is a sentient beings whose mind or whose mind stream is different from oneself. In other words, is another sentient beings. So to exclude oneself, for example, if one were to commit suicide, then the actions of killing is committed, but the actions of killing do not complete with the basis. So the basis part is not complete. So to exclude oneself to be the basis. So even if one kill oneself, killing oneself created heavy negative karma, but such killing, the actions of killing do not have the actual basis.
당가서 시대 소지지 동왕이시 참마 제와라 가서 담보 시대 시사인 바 시대 간다 다 바로 바라네 신 바로 무슨 지서로 된 거지 뒤지고 임바 다 시대 대지 소지서 시대 뒤지고 다 삼바들랑 가서 다 소상 다 보고 지다 삼바들랑 뒤시다 너무 꾸노스 비송 상고와 삼바들랑 뒤시다 너무 꾸노스 다 뒤시대 간다 뒤시대 만주다 제일만에 그러와 삼발은 뒤시다 너무 꾸노스 예선 상고에 전부 뒤시와.
Yeah, so killing, the basis of killing is another sentient beings. So it's another sentient beings who is alive. Then the attitudes. So attitudes has 3 points. So discernment, mental actions, and motivations. So discernment, in other words, is perception. So perceptions, mental afflictions, and motivations, as you can see in the italic.
다 담보가서 리시드 쉬어인다. 다 삼바들은 리시드 니무꾸노 소요. 다 담보 리시드. 다 담보 리시드라 제가 가서 리시 만투가 지금 리시 시작으로와. 시 신치 더블라 리시 바세. 다 신치 소치에게 신치 다지 시 신치 바로 버지 부르와. 다 바로 버 루다버지라 페샤나와. 루다버지 페샤나 시 신치 루다버데라 루인반 리시 바치. 그러와. 다 신치 미반이게 다 간다 루 많이 봐 루치 세고나다 루라 루이 반디시 버와 루디 루이 다 신치 미반도 시바 다 루디 간다 루 많이 봐 현다 질란도 시바 근디시도 주사와 다 신치 미발라 신치 많이 반도 시바 다디 근디시 대가로 와 신치 많이 발라 신치 많이 반도 시바 다 신치 많이 발라 신치는 도 시바 비 주사와 신치 많이 바지라 신치는 도 시바이나 루 많이 바지라 루인 도 시바이나 다 주사와 와 주사 다 간다 담보 리시 담보다 손바데 리시 담보다 손바 만초아 리시 리시 만초아 와 리시 만초아 담보다 가데 시신체 답들라 루다벌야 루든 리시 바데 루레 상태가로 리시 타리 답아 리시 바데 추요 말와 야로와 다 담보도 추요 말와 담보 리시다 다 손바데 만초아리야 손바데 만초아 다 손바드는 신체 미발라 신체 많이 받게 다 신체 많이 발라 신체 많이 받게 신체 많이 바래서 뜬듯이 다가로와 오디시 다 내가 간단히래 니바다 시바다 간다 추와리와 다 추스나 맞아 소치 제사기 시들라 추네 세바이나 다 니시리 제고요 말이야 니시와 다 루센데지 베 시루다로 센데지 꾸는 한데 뜬듯이데 세우디 와 lula luyi bande majiba dekan dishi tune raji sebaina dan dishi chusarwa nishi de chiwa
So the discernment has 4 possibilities. So when the basis is a sentient beings, So so there are four possibilities. The first one is when the basis is a sentient being, then you perceive it as a sentient being. So you have a perceptions and perceiving the basis a sentient being as a sentient being. And the second one is you perceive the basis a sentient being as not a sentient being. So I read first. So when the basis is a sentient being, the discernment of it as a sentient being. When the basis is a sentient being, the discernment of it as not a sentient being. When the basis is not a sentient being, the discernment of it as not a sentient being. And when the basis is not a sentient being, the discernment of it as a sentient being. The first and third discernments are unmistaken, while the second and fourth are mistaken. So what does it mean is, what does it mean is, to commit actions of killing with the actual basis, then the perceptions must be correct. So the perception must be an unmistaken one. So for example, when the basis is a sentient being, for example, a sheep, so then you perceive it as a sheep, then that is an unmistaken perception. And the basis a sheep, then you perceive it as not a sentient being, then that is a mistaken perception. Then come to the third one is when the basis is not a sentient being. So now the basis changed to another, is not a sentient being. Then you perceive it as a non-sentient being. Then that is a correct perception. It is an unmistaken perception. And when the basis is not a sentient being, then you discernment of it as a sentient being. You perceive a non-sentient being as a sentient being. Then this is a mistaken perception. So the first and third discernments are unmistaken. So refer to you perceive a sentient being as a sentient being, and you perceive a non-sentient being as a non-sentient being. So these perceptions are unmistaken, while the second and fourth are mistaken. So the second one is you perceive a sentient being, for example, a sheep, to be not a sentient being. Then there is a wrong, is a mistaken perceptions. And the fourth one is you perceive a non-sentient being as a sentient being. That is also a mistaken. So, for example, if you have the motivations that you want to kill a sheep, but you mistakenly kill, but if you kill a goat instead, then the killing with the actual basis do not happen. So then on the text it says, for example, if you are thinking to kill only Devadatta, but when it comes to performing the actions, you mistakenly kill Yagyadatta, so then there is no bad deed in connection with the actual basis. So if you have the motivation to kill Devadatta, but you mistaken, then you kill Yagyadatta instead. So there is no bad deeds of with the actual basis. So there is no actions of killing with the actual basis. And the shit Nyakro Jibu signature Chunjune Kanda Jibu signature Chunin Nya Mai Bachina Nyari Tese Yaina
then you get chima, yes, you get chima, yes. But that is so, Master Tonga Mangish Chima, she would deeper, you make it she would the deeper, such here the finger, your
Yeah, so if they were, then an unmistaken discernment would be unnecessary. So, however, would be necessary. So, however, if at the time of performing the actions you have the general motivation to kill whomever is at hand, then an unmistaken discernment is not necessary. So, for example, I say we have the motivations that I'm going to a lake. Then whatever I capture, then I will kill it. So whatever I captured, then I will kill it. So you have a general motivations to kill anything that you captured. So in this case, then an unmistaken perception is not needed. So, and even if you when you capture a fish and you kill it, then you create the killings with the actual basis. And even if you captured a tortoise, then and you kill it, then you also create the actions of killing with the actual basis, because you have a general motivations to kill anything that you captured. So if you have a specific motivations that I'm going to kill fish that I captured, and then if you mistaken a non-fish, for example, a tortoise, to be a fish, and you kill the tortoise, then you create then you do not create. So then there is no actions of killing with the actual basis. So now we are not talking about the killing a tortoise. So because you mistaken a tortoise to be a fish, right? Then you killed it. So we are not talking about the actions of killing is a negativities or not. So it is a negativities for sure. We are talking about whether that negativity of killing is in connections with the actual basis or not.
Takanda Hamagula Chiba is Jaron Rodan Chiba Yesu, Sindhi Hamagula Tangas and Hamagula, that Ligogi, Kandan Gua, Chino, Ambo Socha, but Bosarwa, that's what Chibadilla from the heat, so that Kidata, Wallman Rona, and just who your race or Chichiba, your race and that, Shenda Kashila, this Manda, when the sheet is on 2 months, this Manda, yeah, you go market, this Manda.
So you should understand this rule to apply also to the remaining 9 parts of actions as appropriate. So there are some required unmistaken perceptions, and there are some do not required unmistaken perception.
That Ambu Dishirwa, that Numuda, that was Sambala, Tambu Dishin do Sarwa, then Dishin do Sarita Numujiwa, that Numude, that Numudla, the Chashida Tumusunga Libu, Sunga, the Yami, the Chawang Seva, Yami, Chedang Seva, Yami Tumu Seva. That this is so Maliba, this is a Kanuchi Maliba Yoma, and that Sinji Seva, Sinji Seva.
So under attitude, as I mentioned, there are 3 points here. So discernment of perceptions, mental afflictions, and motivation. So we have already covered the perceptions. And now we talk about the mental afflictions. So the mental afflictions is any of the 3 poisons. Any of the 3 poisons, and 3 poisons are attachment, anger, and ignorance. So any of these 3, then we kill with any of these 3 types of mental afflictions. And it is impossible to kill a sentient being without any of these 3 poisons.
Shedang on the Sebay, that Numu to Sunan Tambo Shedan of she. Shedang was the Sebaina. That Shedang was the Suso Magasa. John of Chidwa, John of Chida, Suso Pe, a Kizi or such. A coach Shendake, Korape, Judah Chalat, Little Tamagachi. That's also Pe Mantimba, the Magawa, Giant, but the Digi change the parable of the Sebay. Shedang on the Sebay, that day, Shedang on the Sebay, and did it, and that. That's what you say about answer. She down with seven, you move to some Bukaru Seba, sit down to Roa. Whether she down with season did it. That's in Jikashi, Chila Magani Sini, Chili Sha, Papa Kakila, Susula, Mena, Chila Magan with the Chiton the Pro, Mikaji, Dana Shini, Senate into 我等于今天生气的，他写到我们谁了？
Yeah, so for example, if one were to kill with anger, or one kill out of anger, is, for example, the object of your killing would be a persons or sentient beings that you don't like, for example, enemies, or the persons that you want to avenge, and the persons that you are not a friend with, for example, enemies, so who are not in harmony with you. So, for example, a dog. So then, if one kills a dog, is not not wanting its meat, do not want its meat or the fur or etc. Only out of anger because of you don't like the dog, then a person killed it. So that is how a person kill another sentient beings out of anger.
다 몇차종 다 세동을 몇차종 세바이나 다 배양미 냐라고이나 샤기 치르스 들스 샤라페 차비로와 샤라 차바다 다페 신지 바바다 부야부여 조지나 들이라 차냐 세바 다루 바바다고 지다 야 루비 샤나고 차바 다 간다 신지 가시라 부다 바바야부여바 들이라 차는 신기 조로와 손도샤고 세거와 다 소소라 무야기 자란다고 능력이 체도 소소의 무한 능력이 체도 배 자해 지병을 세바들라 한 대샤를 세바스.
And then one kills another sentient beings out of attachment. Like for example, one attached to fish, one attached to the meat of the fish, then you kill a fish. Then that is how you kill another sentient beings out of attachment. For example, a person kill a sheep for its fur and for its meat. So then that is how a person kill a sheep out of attachment.
다 두무하게 세바데 다 두무하게 세바데 다 대샤차 다 두무하고 지고다 그래서 두무하게 세바데 다 가시베 디요 다베 쳐바 피기 있는 베 신지라는 다 마버스니 와 마버스니 데 쳐바 피야 치디 인세 다 가서 쳐바 세워다 가 소지야 쳐바 피세워다 데 가서 남발아 자와니네 요마다 그래서 신지 소지는 쳐바 피세워다 데 신지는 세워지고로 가서 배 따와 탑서도 쳐바 세워 매바 쓰려고 세워 매바 라기 신지 가르지는 쳐바도 세워 매바 주고 그래 상지가 손하게 다 세워지는 배 취지는 배 쉬고 쳐바 핀다 뭐라 지야데 다데 자와니네 지고요마 다 딩아서 tumu mashipo wangi tumu go seso da nilu mashipo wangi nilu ngwe ne tsugi nilu mashipo wangi de kada sinjela so pa de sini chejin chedo ni sewa da wa da de chi den ji ma rese wa da de kada tumu go seso de nilu mashipo wangi anda shine sene de mashimba ta ya chedo ni se yan cheba pie chedo ni sewa da mila pa 조포 버디 당상 체리 인세 와도 왔다 든지세 제바이나 대반의 뜨는 세와를 피하게 하 말이와 이 자와도 진짜 소체 와도
And kill sentient beings out of ignorance. For example, what it means is out of ignorance is not knowing the actual situations or not knowing the mode of existence. Sorry, not knowing the reality. And then if one kills the sentient beings, then that is how killing out of ignorance happen. Like for example, if we say that I want to make offerings, then we kill many sentient beings. So like those sacrificial ceremony. So then you sacrifice many living beings. Then you make offerings to others. Then that is how an actions of killing out of ignorance happen. So so in Buddhism, so as a Buddhist and in Buddhism, then we do not talk about killing a sentient beings and use it as an offering. Use it as an offering. So in Buddhism, we do not talk about this, and it is inappropriate in Buddhism. So Buddha talks about do not have a violent act to oneself and to others, right? So Buddha talk about it. So, and if we were to kill a sentient beings kill many sentient beings and then use it as an offering, then that is not proper in Buddhism. And then as a Buddhist, then we shouldn't do so. So yeah, even if we say that if we kill sentient beings to make offerings, or we kill sentient beings to give it to others, or we kill sentient beings and then use it as a kill for celebrating with my friends, a party. So to have a party with my friends, then you only create negativities. You do not brings, and it doesn't bring any benefits. And the motivations is desire to kill. So if one, so the motivation is desire to kill. If one do not have such a motivation, then again, it is a bad deed without the actual basis. So for example, if we go out, if we go out and then when we walk, then we might kill ants or bugs and etc. So since we do not have the motivations to kill them, then it is a bad deed without an actual basis. And performance. So performance is this is the same whether you yourself do the killing or whether you cause someone else to do it. So for example, if you yourself kill a fish or kill a sheep, or you ask someone else to kill the fish or kill the sheep for you, then it is a bad deed with the actual basis. So even though you pay someone else to kill fish or the sheep for you, then you yourself also create the bad deed with the actual basis.
That joy the kanda rangi cheba the yina lega kiba ni chipa chichansi. That joy mo the setan mo gallery sinarwa mo de that kanda and sen do shuba senja trila sabanduna sabashuna kanda was see a joy the chipa chichari. That nga jini seva in the chipa chichari. Chipa chichari. The two jini seva in the chipa chichari. That is so kanda see a susu tashin also kamish to the seva in that kanda chipa chichari.
The nature of the performance. So the meaning of this, the nature of the performance is the way you kill or the method you employ to kill. So the nature of the performance is the act itself, whether done by means of a weapon, poison, mantra, or anything else. So you can kill with stone, you can kill with mantra, or you can kill with poisons. You can kill with poisons. Then this is it constitutes the nature of the performance.
That joy the Dua, that tattoo saw the level. That tattoo saw the Kanda, that joy de change, Yinji Rang Naroda. That Kanda, Susubi, horrible Luda with the sea with it. That Lute, machine Susu Shing, Shubaina, then he is Chibi Yoma. We don't just say the Yoma, because the Suchi Lancer of it. Or we hit Chibi Yoma. Chia maybe the guy. So Lute said then a machine in the Susu Shizarwa. 소소히자데 소소베 제와 hin다지는 로사리 이 루시에게 미시 소소 지요 대지고 명이사 다 간다 다두데 소소 마신이라 다 세제 바로부터 송하고 우리 예수고
And completion. The completion consists in the death of the other being because of the performance of the action, whether at that time or at some other time before you yourself die. So if we kill another sentient beings, for example, a sheep, and before the sheep dies, and we ourselves die first. So if we ourselves die first before the sentient beings, before the sheep, then it is a bad deed without the actual basis, because oneself has already gone to another rebirth.
그래서 다른 데가 좋아하는 것도 이제 뒤뒤시나와 좋아도 때 사천 시기로와 앞에 가서 미춘다고 지금 루지 세바이나 다 미리래 간다로와 디바 사마를 레리고요 그와 디바 고셔지는 리고요
디바 고셔지는 리고요
다 루지 세바이나 다 사마를 간다 수수 리고요 디바
디바
루시아 루시바 미시 리고요 다 마페로 미 뱀보다고 지나 그와 다 민가자 마자 탐바지 장서 비게 민 mambuji jatung la so tindi seshilo sebaina ta pembo tela korangi mami di sobi mi gazi sebaina chanta wangi chi chanta korangi jibu yeso mi pembo tela mi tongra ji sena mi tongra ji sebi wangi chi jibu yeso kola wo dingi anda susu gi sebada pige sedu juba ne de susu gi seya de ni wo chung yeso
la ma kali chung wa
wo 다 그게 소속이 미노아로와 마 뱀보티기 다 마음이 됐어 마음 마음을 비게 미동차지 세라바이나 다 미동차지 세 소소 미 고속이 미동차지 세 소소 미동차지 세비 동왕이 희지를 해서 소소라 다 대마체바 미 세네 마음이 나자를 대가로 예바 사실 것이 내가 그래서 디 소소 지복이 동차지 세바 디 예바 중국에서 소소 지복이 미 마음이라 내가 막해 봐지 소소라고 지기 미동라지 세바이나 다 다지 늘 고정 세바다 세도 중기 코로나 소리 내봐지 사치 뭐지 사지 거래 내가 비기 동라지 세야라 소소 뭐 디방이 동라지 리고래 다 고소를 망아봐지 소소 지복이 비기 미 마음이 동라지 세바이나 내 소소를 다 현달을 세도 주에 디바드 리고 말아 다 소소기 동라지 세야 디바드 리고로 와 오다 신나 거바다 수수기 세바네네 야 수수기 세바다 이제 내가 맞추고 그래서 다 수수 가시기 때 수수 마세바지 루세쇼 네바체 에페차체 든지 냐세쇼 저 나세가쇼 니 수고지 니 페차체서 따따 디바 사죠 뭐 시버를 간다 다 단다 디사샤랑 가서 마음이 든지게 네바체 에페 냐세가 니 가시 라바치 냐세가 다 냐세 간다네 그 냐동가지 세드나 아니들아 어세게 아니 그러나 냐동가지 세게 이거 사사 인식제서 대마제 코를 생게 냐생게 콜은 냐바 그러나 냐바 사치는 있어 좋아 어다 냐바니 살리고
마음이 된 소한데 그래서 디 정말 시대에 내요
얘기를 그러지 뭐 섹스가 여러 가지
섹스 중에 So, and about the performance, then I would like to explain further. Like for example, if there are 10 persons killing a sheep together, then 10 of them create the negativities with the actual basis. Similar to another topic is general, army general, then order his armies to kill 500 persons or 1,000 persons. So, however many those armies killed, then the army general, so the general create the negativities with the actual basis in relation to however many is killed. Like for example, if the armies killed 1,000 persons, then the general who gave the order also create the negativities of killing 1,000 persons with the actual basis. So, and if these two are the army who implement the orders and and the army, sorry, and the general who gave the order. One order and one take the order and then go and do the go and kill. So both of them create a bad deeds with the actual basis. But if we were to compare these two, the general create a heavier negativities than those armies. Why? It's because of this general gave the order and then order the armies to kill 1,000 persons. It caused other sentient beings, those armies, to create negative karma as well. So because of this, both of them create negativities, but the general, though he himself might not actually kill a sentient being, but the general create heavier negative karma than those armies. So for example, if we pay someone else to kill fish or kill sheep, etc., so both of them create negativities with the actual basis, but the one who pay the butcher to kill, so the boss create a heavier negative karma.
That means the source related never touch him. So that this was a GSA and you know, and mother chase a human score. That's what you touch him with on the sources of never chimashura. Never chim that so good deputy. Then and you are there. Usually, what did they do the lessons?
Yeah, so one have to avoid killing, and if one, because killing is a heavy negative karma, and if one were to commit such heavy negative karma, then its result will be falling into the lower realms and in hell, born in hell, and then have to endure the sufferings there for a very long time. Yeah, so if you have, do you have any questions? So if you have questions, then you can ask now. If not, then I will proceed to stealing.
Sheila, maybe I should sum in the confession, 35 Buddha confession down for prayer we read. It emphasizes the rejoicing of the wrong action of others. So when you look at the four components of completing karma, there's no basis because it's not us who ask the attitude and we do not perform and the completion, but we rejoice. Looks like it's very heavy rejoicing. Can Geshe-la explain in this karma, how bad is a karma when we rejoice of others killing?
Because Sungju-songa, Jitong Sungju-songa already. Si samba joa tatu ina di nang la yang di kari kung su bi ore. Ini yang jisui rang che wai na, ini yang tipa kan tipa cha che chung di kan di yong gi resa. Yang tipa yang cha chen bo yong gi resa.
Yuda jisui rang tipa sa la. De tipa cha chen bo su yong gi resa. Danda ko
cha che chung kan di resa.
Da pashuti ko se ja da ko. Bigiti pe mise baira eko jesi rachina ta ko so pe mise pe dipa chachimbo jinjuru wa kola dipa chachimbo jinjuru wa te bige so jesa te ko chechun ka se me te so dipa chachile te bile ko la jesi no se wa
okay si dipa te an cha se chung ina ngo su jesu rang che wa ina yan ngo su yan dipa chachimbo
le gre se le dipa chachimbo yiro de da
jesu yang ina dikasa tatu la kong su do bi na ila
Jesu ran sa da so gawa gwe dichen ora pigi dipa sa de nga so tanda ngeshi jesu de ke che shibu yo ma ma so ngeshi de la tanda chi joa no de changchang ji chang wu do de de ke ma ro jesu ran de la ko se ko pigi se de ko so ran sa pe se la gawa bu de chi ma tambo pe no ke sende da de mi se ko joa mu ta de ke yo ma ro 로 가도 그룹 비기 소치 예디도 랑사 걸 가와 고네 지시나 지여로 근데 당보치나 프랑페 세야근데 뭐 그노 뜻이는 앞에 소소 인디셔널 때 림바기 뜻이 요마노 디bat 사치 몰리고 그래서 간다
그러나 디bat 사치 몰리고
디bat 사치 몰리고 그래서
So when we talk about rejoicing in wrong actions of others, so it depends on the actions itself, the actions that we rejoice. For example, if the actions of killing that we rejoice is a heavy negative karma, then we ourselves also create a heavy negative karma as well. So, like for example, if the actions of killing, involves object, that will create that will becomes a heavy negative karma, for example, of human beings. So if others create the negative karma of killing a human being, then itself is a heavy negative karma, and we rejoice in their actions of killing a sentient beings, then we ourselves also create a heavy negative karma. So yang tiba sahaja boleh lagi roh. Ini ngaco kaza misiva tiba desa yo lah. Misiva tiba yang sawar. Jisu yang siapa ina? Misiva tiba de susu yang ada yang baru yang gitu lah.
misiva tiba de susu tiba sahaja boleh lagi so. Dan ni kita cek moro. Ni kita cek moro.
So if we rejoice in others' actions of killing a human beings, so we ourselves will create a heavy negative karma, but that heavy negative karma is without the actual basis.
Dishila, the question on attitude of the soldiers who took the instructions from the general to kill, on the case of the attitude, motivation is lacking. The soldier does not have the motivation to kill. So that means whether he has completed the path of karma, because he didn't possess the motivation to kill. It was the general who gave the order to kill. So while the basis is there, while the action is done and the completion is done, the attitude, the part on motivation, to me, it seems to be lacking. So that's my question.
Yang pina cakap nak mami je, kata pembu je ni tinggal be, ngane ni di mami tenso ni di mi tongta tenten di segio na, ni mami rang kunlong de yonas, kunlong de yo marawa, kungi samsu, Mr. Kwa ki samsu na, kunlong de yo mares, kains na mami tenso la, ni segi kunlong de yo maresa, ni di mewai na, ni di tipada yore de ni di mushi amma temba mushi maybe tipada sagi roas ni di shio bache kain sina di segi yore ni joa de yo bache ni di tatu yang yo bache ini di samba nang ne ye kunong de meba ji inge samgi tu kabina
tadi mami kurun riman dabda yeresko chana da yeres mami kashin pe pembol gata chesana ko karan lana pe chesu kadu chine segi sansa di yorwa kashi sende ma sende me gido masinda soso soro nenga hesa ni yorwa
de
nibade soso sende me ba ina mase ba ina soso la nenga li yorwa o tidi tela chiri ba yoresko mami kashi tatang ba na shi pe mal don gata chine me sende segi de ba ina me li yoresko tadi ko chiri resko anda yore de ko pe 종의 장소 만나는 딱 거기서 디바트 사진 몰리는 거로
야 무시 민네래 니 디바 사진 못
네 가시는 민시래 그래 가시는 민시 말이야 이 이유로
Yeah, so it also depends, and there are different types of soldiers. Yeah, some soldiers, they like the general so much. So whatever orders general says, then he will take it and then he will do it exactly. So then those soldiers who like to kill, then who likes to kill, then they have the motivations to kill. And then there are soldiers do not have the motivation to kill. They don't wish to kill, but if they do not kill others, then they themselves will be in danger. So then they kill. So both of them, they also create bad deeds. Is whether they create the bad deeds with the actual basis or not.
Hello, Gesila. Yes, I would like to ask a question. let's say we create a negative karma in our dream, or non-virtuous actions in our dream. Does that constitute creating a negative karma?
Ini di milam lah, dipati dipati ciwa ina. Ini dipati ciwa nas.
제가 얘기 지금 말했어.
자,
디방이 지금 말했어.
디방무시
지역에
디방 요리 되는 디방무시 요 말이지.
대여 말했고 가서 밀라노 지당 가서 든디지 세금도 상가치나 가서 디파세 켈링 말했어.
세베 디바데 요 말.
든디세 디발링 말했어.
Yeah, so if we were to kill, for example, a kill in dream, then we do not create the negative karma of killing.
Okay, thank you.
Sheila, there's a question from Tiong Bing. Can Gisela explain the negative karma of suicide? As Gisela said, the basis is not fulfilled, is because it's not a life of others. Because earlier Gisela said it's not part of negative karma of killing others. So is there a negative karma committed by someone who committed suicide?
Sorry, again.
Okay, Gisela just now said that those who committed taking their own life, because the basis should be killing should be a life of others. So just now Gisela explained, so this person who take his own life does not fulfill the first factor, the basis. So Tiong want to ask, is there any negative karma then created by the person who committed suicide?
Yang kasa orang si kawai na, ini di si di cangyo marwa, kain sina di sim paru marwa, ini di orang si kawai na di semi paru di min marwa. Jika ini di orang si kangin tela di pasar yo wes, di orang si kawai na.
디파세 단단 가서 연마사다 레랑인시 창상 정부 연마에서 디기제 시골 디파사 차 전부 사사를
레랑무시 요메, 레랑무시 세대 창마 창 기자로.
괜찮아요 말해서 인식이 정부 연마에서 된 창고 연마세레마도 디파 요다 옆에 차 전부 미소집이 디파들에 살고 디파를 소치 디파를 살. 내 살이 이는 가서 인식로보다 창마사 기제 시골 나디. 좋아. 좋아 인식 때 창소가 들이 창상 차 전부 시골 와.
Yeah, if a person who commits suicide, then that person create a heavy negative karma. Create a heavy negative karma. It's just that it is a heavy negative karma without the actual basis. So definitely a person
Without the
actual basis. It's not a complete actions. The lelam mushi na because of mushi the
인식이
yoma.
연마에서 디파 차 전부 요다스고 차 전부 전부랬고
Then mushi dan shi na the loa.
있어요. 시설도 와서 시설.
Yeah, so when we talk about actual basis and basis is two different things. Ini tingmu shi na dia kasa yang di kasa lelam de changma chang
창소가 인식지에서 와다 디파 인식 창소지에서 내랑 창소 정보 시 창상하지 상와 어떤 세바이는 대표 차 전부 시분에서다.
So when we talk about basis, then is in the context of killing, then is the object a person kill. And when we talk about a negative karma with the actual basis, is a negative karma, whether it is a complete negative karma or not. So whether it is complete with the factors of basis, attitudes, performance, and conviction. So actual basis and basis are two things. Two things.
Gisela, just to confirm, the killing in the executed in the dreams, although there is no basis of killing, but it is still a non-virtuous action. There is a karmic imprint. I want to confirm that. Can I, that it's because especially if you wake up feeling sort of vitiated, even without that, just by virtue of the dream, a non-virtuous dream, that itself, I like to confirm whether there is a karmic imprint or not.
That's right. Because minam long la mi se wai na. Ini di CEO marwa. CEO marwa. Ini di because mi give le di sa yu re. Di mi give le roas. Minam long la mi se wai na. Di mi give le roas. Yimin. Ina mina di jiwa tambo. Ini di yang pacha de yang xiao roas.
니나는 레스한테 쓰다 같이 먹기 내가 누구 이제 말했을 정도지. 미리다 너무 맞지고 그래서 미나나로 미세바데
에디디 바샤샹이
바샤스네 샤다 미란 미세바데 나미기 바샤 원도 슬리고라 수수니 바샤 원도 슬리고라 그래서 바샤 샤스니 계속해 모르스디 와
바샤 늘 사비 디 바샤기
바샤 원도
미란
슬리고라 나 슬리고라
Yeah. So killing in dream. So I think is it doesn't become a non-virtuous actions, and it doesn't leave karmic imprints as well. So having a dream about killing happened because of the imprints that we left in the past. So killing in dream happens because of the imprints that we left in the past, but by killing in dream, do not leave them karmic imprint.
Thank you. That's why Shan Mare.
That's
Thank you. Let me stop here. Yeah.
Regarding commit suicide, the person who commits suicide is also a sentient being.
Oh, and the question is, hello.
I think it's an internet issue. So what Karen means is that he is taking a life of a sentient being, although not another. So Karen, that's why Geshe-la say it's a bad action to kill oneself, although in these 10 non-virtues of killing others, he doesn't fulfill. Right, Karen?
Right, I heard Geshe-la say that, but I was wondering, because in past lesson we learned, we are also a sentient being, therefore it's wrong. But I just want to clarify with Geshe-la. I want Geshe-la thoughts on that, because in our past we have listened to teachings before, so it contradicts.
There's no contradiction. Sentient being, maybe, yeah.
So anything because this so jibe shi diro, so jibe shi na, ini the same part of what anything ini so rangshi kya wa ina, rangse wa ina, the rang ina, so ina yang the same in baro aisla.
Sinta so senji ina senji ro senji inditi so senji meruti senji
ini the so jibe le the sagi ore ini the because the so jibe because the so jibe ngoshi ne this yeah. So is not if one commits a suicide, that person create the negative karma of killing, but the person do not create negative karma of killing with the actual basis. So again, so the actual basis and basis is two different things. Actual basis means that whether it's a complete actions of killing or not.
Thank you. Yeah. That's why Shan Mare. I'm going to do some more here. Kanda Bito de la Tini Kanda Chitin Baji and that pay Malaysia pay Indonesia and the pay inside the Mahan Shirino and that's a teacher to pay Sijin Sitting there, Cindy to so because Sijin on to Kawa in a Sijin sitting Detsena, let's say what means of the Papa Sanji with the 12. Jim Woman Chechida. Yes, and never so. Yeah, teach that and that. So that means no skip creating to that hundred bucks. Don't want to mid draw digits of the digit by cheating my cheating. That and then I do choose the missing joy. It's standing that injured that 2 years ago. That kind of say what Thomas people but on such mid that digit someone was in the watch at this. More than a chamber
So we conclude with dedication. We dedicate the roots of virtue accumulated, especially through these Dharma teaching sessions. So maybe the complete cause for Buddha Dharma to spread in all 10 directions, and may all sentient beings have excellent happiness. We also dedicate these roots of virtue for world peace, and may happiness prevail the world. And we also dedicate for this pandemic to be quickly ceased, and those sentient beings like for example in Malaysia, in Indonesia, basically the whole world. So whoever dies, whoever pass away, then may their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be quickly pacified and achieve the basis of upon which achieve the state of enlightenment, quickly achieve the state of enlightenment. And we also dedicate these groups of virtue to patients, and especially those who are affected by this virus. May they quickly regain health, and may their life be filled with excellent happiness. And we also dedicate these groups of virtue specifically to Sally's brother, who passed away today. And may his negativities accumulated since beginningless time be quickly pacified and quickly achieve a basis upon which achieve the state of enlightenment. Yeah, so since we have karmic connections, so when we dedicate, then it brings greater benefits.
Đó thì chuyện như sau thì kêu anh để đến đó đó cũng là cảm biết đã chế bảo chế chế nó sang cho vậy thì bên những bộ riêng của sẽ chế số sinh cho riêng của chế mà chế bảo năng chế chế bảo nhắm bảo mẹ bảo yang có địa con đồ để vào số bảo vệ chế đạo chế bảo năng cũng nó sang bộ để yang để xin để đó cũng cái chế số đạo đồ chế kêu anh để đó tăng chế ra đồ ngô ni đạo riêng của chế mà chế bảo năng chế bảo nhắm bảo mẹ bảo yang có địa con đồ để vào Rimye Tawa Rinpoche, Pana Kikyoje, Keba Nyamba Memaya, Kone Kondo Bewa, Sho, Yame Kevede, Sikyon Bebe Kuse Dobo, Chosun Gue Leme Dujo, Batazo Duje Gendo Jate, Sho, Jesun Dojo Bela, Chise Sese, Kanchen Jenju, Chala Primo Tenzinga Sola, Soa de So Jende Do, Sho, Kande Bede Mabeba, Kande Jue Sambe Yishino, Kajen Sume Tenzinga Sola, Soa de So Jende Do, Sho, Rami Koye Shikande, Pena Dewa Mali Jungwe, Jere Zewa Tenzinga Zoe, Chape Sidi Pado, Tenko, Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gisela.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken. Everyone. Very good showing.
Thank you, everyone.
Good
night, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Gesla.